Horrifying new video as Trump supporters stormed the Capitol.
We need fresh patriots, not broads!
The mass crushing a police officer between a riot shield and a metal door. Bleeding and screaming for help. As police in riot gear try to hold the line, the mob keeps pushing, one of them yelling out, "Grab their damn shields." Other videos showing Trump supporters spraying chemicals and beating the police with bats and metal pipes. The images and the fallout from Wednesday's insurrection continues to reverberate as the country's leaders and law enforcement look to hold those responsible, including President Trump, accountable.
I've been saying for well over a year, he is not fit to serve. He is not fit to serve. He's one of the most incompetent presidents in the history of the United States of America.
At the White House, the president more isolated than ever, both personally and now offline. In a stunning decision, Twitter banning the president permanently, quote, due to the risk of further incitement of violence. The president, who had over 88 million followers, is a prolific tweeter, using the social media platform to announce policies as well as to attack those he disagreed with.
This hits the president where it hurts probably the most. I mean, Twitter is the instrument that fueled his rise to power. It is the instrument that has caused some of the biggest problems for this White House over the past 4 years, but it's the way the president goes directly to his supporters.
Yesterday, Trump releasing this video on Twitter, where he seemed to denounce the events at the Capitol.
I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem.
The president released that video under enormous pressure from Republicans, from some of his own staff members, even from members of his family, but he is not happy with it. This was the video where he, for the first time, condemned the violence and said he would work towards an orderly transition, and now I'm told the president regrets saying those things.
In what may be his last tweet from his @RealDonaldTrump account, President Trump announced that he will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th.
One of the few things he and I have ever agreed on. It's a good thing I'm not showing up.
Even his bitter opponent, Hillary Clinton, attended President Trump's inauguration 4 years ago. She wrote that she felt a responsibility to be there, to demonstrate the peaceful transfer of power.
I don't think anybody really thought Trump was going to go to Joe Biden's inauguration. It just never seemed plausible. Now he's made what was obvious official, and it's an incredible break with precedent.
The president tried to tweet from the official @POTUS account, but Twitter deleted them, saying in a statement to ABC News, using another account to try to evade a suspension is against our rules. Even though there are only 12 days before the Biden administration takes office, there are increasing calls for the president to resign. And Democrats in the House of Representatives have drafted a 4-page impeachment resolution for incitement of insurrection, charging Trump with willfully inciting violence against the government by urging his followers to march to the Capitol. Today, federal authorities announcing arrest of those who took part in the assault on the Capitol.
I'll put a quarter on for desk.
Richard Barnett, the man with his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk, arrested in Little Rock, Arkansas, facing multiple charges. AFP photographer Saul Loeb took this now infamous picture of Barnett.
I found Richard Barnett sitting at a staff member's desk in her office with his feet up, just making himself at home. You know, it's just sort of like he owned the place, and rifling through the mail on the desk. And, you know, it's just sort of a jarring sight.
Taking this series of photos to illustrate the contrast between Barnett and Pelosi.
Here you have Nancy Pelosi, one of the highest members of the U.S. government, in this theoretically highly secure location, in this highly secure building, and these people are just basically doing whatever they want and looking whatever they want.
Also arrested, Lonnie Kaufman, who authorities say brought these 11 Molotov cocktails, along with handguns and an M4 carbine assault rifle like this one, to the Capitol.
For most of those members of the mob who are charged, you're going to see charges ranging from weapons violations to being on restricted government property to using violence or force to break onto the Capitol grounds.
Authorities investigating the death of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick and the possibility he may have been struck with a fire extinguisher. The flag over the Capitol flying at half-staff in his honor.
Investigating how that Capitol police officer died is going to be an A1 priority for federal investigators. They're going to want to know how it happened, who is responsible for it, and then what charges are appropriate.
In the morning before the mob set siege to the Capitol, Trump and his family were watching the rally backstage.
Hi, Ivanka.
In this since-removed video from the president's son, Don Jr.'s Facebook account, his girlfriend Kimberly offering what was just the first of many calls to action.
Yes, have the courage to do the right thing. Fight.
That mood was festive, even though so many of those Trump supporters believe the president was defrauded out of the November election. They were there to support him. They were there to say, we love you, we're here for you.
On stage, speaking to a sea of followers, the president's family and allies riled up the crowd.
If you're gonna be the zero and not the hero, we're coming for you. Let's have trial by combat.
Trump spoke for an hour,
We will not take it anymore.
urging his followers to take action.
Here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength.
Once they got their marching orders for the president, they marched down Constitution Avenue. And as we got closer to the Capitol, things got to a fever pitch point. It got to a point where I just knew things were going to get out of control pretty quickly.
From the beginning of his presidency until his final days, President Trump has not only repeatedly failed to call out the kinds of hate groups that besieged the Capitol this week, but has used dangerous rhetoric to stoke the flames of hate. After white supremacists held a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia that led to a woman's death, he equivocated.
They showed up in Charlottesville to protest.
Excuse me, they didn't put themselves down as you, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And during the 2020 presidential debate, he used language that foreshadowed Wednesday's events.
You want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Many point to the president's words as the match that lit the flame at Wednesday's rally.
So I really think what's so worrying is we are on the precipice of something quite dark, because people are literally, they distrust the system.
Jonathan Greenblatt is the CEO of the Antidefamation League, a nonprofit organization that tracks far-right extremists. In 2019, we visited their office where they monitor hate groups.
So this is our heat map,
Which
means hate, extremism, anti-Semitism, and terror. So it allows us to track in real time hate crimes wherever they're happening across the country.
Well, if this is an indication of hate crimes, we're in a bad place right now.
So as the ADL sees it, Donald Trump perhaps didn't facilitate what happened on Wednesday, but you believe he enabled it.
White supremacy existed before Donald Trump, and it will persist after Donald Trump. It's not going to go away on January the 20th. However, it's clear that he has amplified and incited far-right extremism. And there have been lots of signs along the way.
And some of those far-right extremists were seen inside the Capitol, wearing shirts bearing slogans praising the Holocaust.
This was one of the first times I have seen so vividly displayed the normalization of extremism. Yes, there were hardcore white supremacists who were leading the charge into the building, assaulting police officers, vandalizing the facility. But there were also hundreds of ordinary people who followed them. They were ordinary Americans who believe in the president and his message. They are ripe for radicalization.
If this is a Trump-led movement, where do all these people go after January 20th?
This existed before Trump, and it will exist after Trump. But make no mistake, other leaders will emerge. Other people will step forward. This isn't going to go away anytime soon.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.